What's going on, everybody? This is Justin with Me, Myself, and Dice, and if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. We do video playthroughs of solo board games and other board game related content. So if you like board game goodies, then definitely hit that subscribe button and like this video and share it around so that other people may know about all of the board game goodness that's out there. Today we're taking a look at a game that got a lot of buzz when it came out, Tapestry. Now this is a Stonemaier game, and Stonemaier games always get a lot of buzz, but this one was a lot of confusion about whether it was a good solo game or not. And I still get questions on social media and through the channel, is this a good solo game? And while I can't tell you if this game is right for you or not, I can teach you how to play, clear up some of that confusion, and show you what it feels like so that you can decide if this is a game that's right for you or not. But we're not just going to look at Tapestry. While we're at it, let's go ahead and look at the Plans and Ploys expansion. That's right, the Plans and Ploys expansion is the newest expansion for Tapestry, and we can dive in and see what all goodness that adds to the game. So what are we waiting for? Let's get down to the table and play Tapestry with Plans and Ploys. Welcome down to the table, everyone, where we have everything laid out for a solo game of Tapestry with the Plans and Ploys expansion. As I mentioned up top, we're going to go through all of the rules and do a full playthrough with rules explanation and hopefully clear up any confusion that you may have about some of the Automa's action and how to actually run it. Now, I am folding in the Plans and Ploys expansion, and that's because there's not a ton in here that's new rules. There's a good amount of stuff in here, don't get me wrong. It's just more of the same, which is not a bad thing at all. It actually makes it easy to just throw this in and you can still teach new players the game. So we're just going to do that. We can teach the game and show off the Plans and Ploys expansion at the same time. So as we go through, I will talk about what's new. The first thing that is in the Plans and Ploys I won't be showing you today, it's because it's in the rule book. And that is, there are 5 scenarios that are for solo in the rule book. And actually, if you look, you can put them together as a campaign. Now, I haven't played with these yet, I haven't messed with them, but I'm very excited that there are solo scenarios and even a campaign listed in here. If that's something you'd like to see, if you'd like to see us set up a couple scenarios and play through those where we don't do a rules overview, where we can just set it up and play, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know that that's something you're interested in seeing in the future, and we can try to schedule that. I think that would be fun. I'm really excited about diving into some of those, and maybe even diving into the campaign. So we'll see what the reaction is, but that's the one thing that we won't be playing with today. Going through the setup, we have our exploration tiles here. These are how you build your map. And I had mine in a bag that is just a bag I own and use for different games, but this nice canvas bag actually comes in the expansion. So that's one cool thing. It's a nice little touch. Probably my favorite thing out of the expansion are, it sounds silly, but these little tokens right here. And the reason why is because when you get a building in the base game, you move up and you just grab the building off the mat that's up here. But now, and then you couldn't see what was taken and what's not without looking up the track. And as silly as this sounds, now you have the colored pictures and you take the tile off and now they're grayed out, meaning they've been taken. It's just easier to see at a glance. But even more so, teaching new players that may not be familiar with all of the buildings, it's really hard to match up some of these buildings the first couple times you play with the proper building on the mat. This is a full color picture of it, and it's just easy to match up. You can just take the token right over to the mat. So it's silly, but it's just a quality of life improvement. I will never play without them. Speaking of the buildings, there are no new buildings to add to the mat. But that doesn't mean there are not new buildings in the game. The game actually comes with 7 new buildings. And the way they implement these into the game, 5 of them are implemented through these blue cards. You shuffle them up and deal 2, and these are in-game goals that you can achieve. So they're private goals that you can achieve. They don't give you in-game victory points. They allow you to build a new building in your city, which I think is pretty cool. I've already dealt out two and chosen mine. I'm going for the skyscraper. You see it has a full square here, so a 3x3 square, and the skyscraper, and show the building is really, really neat, just like the other buildings. At the end of your turn, if you have at least one complete row or column in your capital city, gain this landmark. So this is a private goal that we can try to get to. So we're going to play this over near our player area and try not to forget it. We have our tech cards laid out. We have vaccines, time travel, and zeppelins in the offering. There are no new tech cards in the expansion. These are just base game. But they did add 15, I believe it is, 15 new Tapestry cards into the Tapestry deck. And some of them do some really neat things. There are new space tiles. Their box comes with 5. 4 of them are new, and 1 of them is the reprint of this. I don't know if they fixed this in later printings. I have the very first numbered edition, but this was misprinted. So in the expansion, they have so kindly included the corrected tile. So this can just be thrown out, and I've already got the new one placed in here. We have our Automa set up over here. I am playing with a base game civilization. It does come with new civilizations, but I randomly picked one, and when I picked scientist, I thought this would be an easy one to teach, a lot less to keep up with. There's only one thing down here. We're going to play against the level 2, which is just printed up. There are new levels. There are some new Automa cards, but most of them have to do with scenarios. However, one of the things that they did in the Plans and Ploys expansion are these player aid cards that help you go through the most confusing parts of the Automa turn, the conquering actions and the explore actions, especially the conquering action, and we will definitely use those. I think that it's not hard, it's just that I think the original language in the rulebook was a little bit confusing, and they've just simplified it with those cards. We have our Automa deck shuffled here, and our starting deck of Automa cards. You start with numbers 1 through 7, and you shuffle those into the Automa starting deck, and then you take what's left over, you deal 1 to that and shuffle that up, put these to the side. We'll use these later. We have our player area here, and if you've never seen Tapestry before, you get a capital city map, and it goes here, your civilization goes here, and it does make a beautiful tapestry as the background topography goes together, and then the tapestry cards go together. But for filming purposes, we're going to put it up here. There are no new capital city mats in the expansion, but there are 15 new civilizations. And I randomly picked 2, and then saw utilitarians. I read through it, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I haven't played with these before, so you know, if I get beat, I'm not familiar with it. But what I thought was cool is that these add powers to some of these landmarks. So, as a matter of fact, we get to start with a powered building, and that's going to be cool. And we can have 2 buildings. As we build, we can gain more powers, and we can have 2 powers going on at the same time. But no more than 2. That's really cool. I like that a lot. So I thought that looked neat. We'll try that out and see how it goes. I have all of our income buildings lined up here on their tracks, and we are starting at 0 resources. And I think that's it. I think we're ready to finish the setup for the Automa and the Shadow Player and ready to dive in. We look up here on the Scientist. There's a heart. It says equals science track. So we're going to put an outpost on the science track. Now, in the expansion, the rules say, used to be that you put an outpost on the track and then you move the Automa up that track. But then as they get further along, it's hard to see their track because they can change tracks. So they suggest putting 2 cubes down and moving like that so you know which is their favorite track. What's funny is that I've always just done that, moving the outpost and the cube. It's easy to see, and yeah, so we're going to do that. It's interesting they came to kind of the same conclusion that I already had. So we're going to make that their favorite track due to their ability. Then we're going to roll the science die, and the shadow player wants any track but science. They're going to roll military, and they're going to favorite military track. So we will give them an outpost and favorite that. And we're ready to dive in. So the first thing you do is on your turn, you can either take an advance turn or an income turn. We always have to start with an income turn. So we're going to do that first. To do an income turn, there is a little chart right here, and there are tiny, tiny numbers beside it. We look for whatever era we are moving into. We are going into era 1. So we're looking for the number 1, and we do those actions. We can skip the first 3. We'll talk about those our next income turn, because the only one that has a number 1 for us is this handout icon. And that means give me my resources. So we look up here, and these tracks up here are going to determine what and how many of those resources we get. We look here, we've got money bags. We get 1 money bags, 1 population, 1 food, and 1 culture. So we can just take all of those and move them up into the 1 section. And then going from the bottom, we gain a tapestry card, we get a democracy, and we draw a starting exploration tile. We get that one right there. And that just goes into our play area. That's it for our income. The income is for the Automa is all right here on this chart. We'll go through that on the next income, because the only place that has a 1 on it is right here. That means they gain a tapestry card. Now they keep their tapestry card face down. They do have a hand of these. There is a chance they'll play them, but right now I'm just going to stack these here so I can see how many we have. That's it for the income phase. We can take an advanced turn, but first we have to grab a building. And I think I'm going to grab the apothecary. Just to give you an idea, let's say the lighthouse. The lighthouse says once on each of your advancement turns, you may spend 2 of these tiles to gain a resource. But I think I'm going to go for the apothecary, which says whenever you gain another landmark, also gain a resource. So I think I'm going to go up the science track. So let's gain the apothecary. We take that over here, match up the building. We have it here. We can place this anywhere on our mat except where these red dots are. Those are impassable areas. If we fill up a square, including the red dots, they take up spaces for us. We get a free resource as soon as we do. If we make rows and columns, we get points for those. I'm thinking that I'm going to place this maybe here or maybe here. Maybe here, because I think I can fill that up with only 2 buildings. That should be pretty fast. So technically I should have done that before we did our income turn, but it's really not going to matter. That's during the start of the game. So anyway, we did it before we moved. I think I'm going to go up the science track. So let's do that. So on your advanced turn, what you do is you look and you move up a track. You spend the resource to move. The resources are required are in these banners. So this to move up on any of these spaces of the track, I have to spend 1 resource of any type. To move up here, it goes to 1 population and 1 resource. Here is 1 population and 2 resources, and then 2 population here. And every track has a specific resource tied to it of the 4 resources. So I think I'm going to spend, let's spend 1 culture, and we are going to move up this track right here. We take the action, and that's going to be roll the dice, and whatever it is, we can move up that track, but we don't gain the benefit. We rolled the science track. Well, that's a shame. Actually would have gone for anything but the science track. So the science track would have given me a tapestry card, and I could pay extra to build a house, but we're not allowed to take that. So that's our turn. So the Automa works a lot like the same company and Morton did in Gaia Project. They flip 2 cards. This is a really neat mechanic because it ends up making a random card. And there's a lot going on here, but all we need to focus on is this middle section of the random card we made. And when we line these up, we have this side is the track card and this side is the tiebreaker. So we're going to use these. These tells us what the Automa in blue and the shadow player in gray is going to do. And then here are all of our tiebreakers that we'll need for the game. We have here this tie breaks the tracks. So this icon up top says the Automa is going to move on the track that's going to get them closest to the next building. The shadow player just wants to move up the track where they are the furthest. Well, neither one have moved, so there is a tie for all of those. So we look here and we do the tiebreaker. Blue arrow goes from top to bottom. That means we do tiebreakers for Automa top to bottom. And for for shadow player, we do it from bottom to top. This just helps them not take the same track on the same turn. So Automa wants to go on their favorite track, which is science, but that's not the closest building because we took the apothecary. So we go down one more, and that's going to be military. And then shadow player wants to move up on the science track. So they'll move up here. And the Automa is going to move up here because that gets them closer to a building. And they're going to take their first conquer action. Now the conquer action is the most difficult, I think, to wrap your head around. And I think it's the one that throws people when they watch and see. So we're going to take it slow, go step by step through this. First we need to grab the tiebreaker card that the Automa had just pulled. Next, we can grab these two cards right here. One says Conquer Neutral, one says Conquer Opponent. And the first way you start off is you say, can they conquer me? So can they conquer me as an opponent? No, they can't, because they have to move from somewhere and they can only go adjacent to where they already have a territory they control. So we're way over here. They can only conquer in this area. So that means they are not going to conquer the opponent. You can throw away that whole card for right now, and that means they're going to conquer neutral. So the next thing they do is they look on this card and say, is there a topple icon? So sometimes this little cell down here is blank, and sometimes it has a toppled outpost icon. Yes, they do. That means that simply they would not take away any that are adjacent to me. So let's say that, pretend for a minute that I had an outpost here. If they have a topple icon, then they keep those as potential conquering spots. If they don't, if that's empty, then they would just take these away, and then they would start choosing and going down the tiebreakers for this. But I am nowhere near them, so technically we can skip that. The next one is, can they gain the Middle Island achievement? Down here, there are 3 achievements for every player to unlock. There is the complete any advancement track, topple 2 opponent outpost, and conquer the Middle Island. The first one to do any of these gets 10 points, and the second one gets 5. So they are always going to, just general rule of thumb, at the beginning of the game, they're always going to be going towards the Middle Island achievement. So it says, if they can gain the Middle Island, choose closest to the Middle Island. Closest is counted by the path. So for instance, a path here could be 1, 2, or 1, 2, the shortest path. So they are 2 away. This is only 1 away. This is 1, 2, 3 away. This is 3 away. This is 4 away. So they would go closest. So you can easily just take those away, and that's where they're going to conquer. Now, again, they can conquer where they haven't explored, and that's fine. So they grab a tile, randomly swivel it around, place it down. They're not trying to match up anything. And then they bring in one of their outposts and they put it down. The next thing they do, very last thing they do, is they look in this square, and if the topple icon is there, then they take a shadow player outpost and they topple it over like so. This just means that the shadow player was technically there, and they conquered them. And what that means for gameplay purposes is I can never conquer a space that has 2. So if I wanted to conquer this area, I couldn't, because you can have at max 2 structures in a hex. But for instance, if they wanted to conquer me and I only had 1 here, then they could easily conquer me. That's not a problem. So that just knocks out some routes and areas that we can control. So easy to remember, at the beginning, they want to go closest to the middle and then into the middle. They're trying to take that center. We'll talk about the other tiebreakers as we go along, but the very last one is always this square right here. This square has a picture of the island on it, and then it has some arrows. In this case, they are arrows that start here, And then the second smaller arrow is here. And that just says you need to read like this. And then the first one you come to out of your available options, which would have been that one, is the one that you choose. So that's just a random kind of tiebreaker, and every card is going to have one of these, and some of them are going to have arrows coming from different angles. Pretty simple. We'll do it a couple more times. As they conquer, we'll walk all the way through it. And then I discard their cards, they're done, and I always keep the tiebreaker card on top because there's always a slim chance you have to refer to it later. I think I'm going to spend 1 money bags and go up the tech track. So let's go from here to here, and this means we can gain a tech card. And I think I want to gain time travel. We immediately replace that with the stock market, which is a 2x2 building. And when we gain a tech card, we have a grid over here that we put it on. There is an X, a circle, and a square. When we discover or invent a technology, we don't get anything. But when we upgrade a technology, mostly during the income turn, we gain, if we upgrade it from here to here, we gain what's in the circle. From here to here, we gain what's in the square. So we have a tech card. We're going to try to conquer time travel. AI is going to flip 2 cards. They want to go up any track. That's what the box means. Whereas the shadow player wants to go up to grab a building. And then any track, we go to the tiebreaker. Any track for them means they want to go up the exploration track. And the shadow player, if they have a tiebreaker, they want to go up their favorite track because they are closest to a building on 3 of the tracks, not science. And that's all because we took this building right here. So they're going up their favorite track, they go up military, and that's all they do. And the Automa is going to move up on the exploration track, and this is not an action that they do. I'm going to spend not 1, but 2, my last 2 resources. We're going to go up the tech track. Now, it only costs us 1, but these gray areas, when I move up, are bonuses. These are benefits, and these are bonuses. Bonuses means that I have the option, I can optionally pay 1 of any resource and build a market. That's very optional, and so I'm going to first gain a Tapestry card. We get a Monarchy, and then I'm going to build a market. And as Jamie likes to do in a lot of his games, he likes to hide things under things that you build, so that when you remove them, you get new stuff. So now I will get, on the next income turn, 2 money bags. We can build this market, let's say, right here. The Automa is going to flip their next to last pair, and they want to go up any track. The shadow player also wants to go up any track. So we go to the tiebreaker. Automa is deciding they want to continue on the exploration, and Shadow wants to go up their favorite track, which is going to be military. So they're going to continue up here. Their only job is to grab buildings and get to the end. They want to go here, and they do this action, which is place a tile. So once again, we're going to need our card, and we're going to look at exploration. They can explore here, 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 and here. So only 4 options, not too terrible. And we grab the card, and exploration only asks one thing. Is their favorite track the military track? So if their favorite track, if the Automa's favorite track is not military, which is not, then they want to go as far away from us as possible, and they just count. So this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like these are both 4 away. We'll take these because those are further away. Those are both the furthest, so we go to the tiebreaker. And the tiebreaker is start here and go down. Pretty simple, they're going to hit that one first. So they're just going to draw a tile and place that down, like so. Now, if their favorite track was the military track, then they would just keep the other ones closest to us in play and just go by the tiebreaker on the map. Pretty simple. It's our turn. We are out of resources, so we're going to take our second income turn. So we're going to go down all of these. The first one is this pink icon, and this is the shape of your civilization mat. So what we do is we come up here and we look, and if it says anything in here about during your income phase, then we do that. Ours doesn't do that, so we don't have to worry about it. So we're going to be skipping that the rest of the game. Now we have this next one, which is the yellow and green card. It means play a Tapestry card. We have 2 Tapestry cards in our hand. We have Monarchy, which says whenever you play this era, whenever you place an income building in your capital city, gain 3. That may be a really good one for us because I know I'm going to build at least 2, maybe 3. But that's an easy 6 points at least. And this says draw 3, then discard any number of Tapestry cards from your hand and gain 2 points each. So draw 3 cards, Tapestry cards. I think I'm going to play Monarchy, and maybe we'll move to Democracy later when I have maybe gained a few more Tapestry cards so we can max out those points. So let's do Monarchy. So when we place this down right here, and you see the art lines up. It's going to make a beautiful tapestry. But first we look down here, and this says if you're the first player to pass or to take your income turn, in this era, gain a resource. So we're going to gain a free resource, and I think I'm going to take a population. The next thing we do is upgrade our tech. So we're going to move a single technology. I can have more than one on a line. We're going to move a single technology up. That's going to give us the benefit of an extra money bags. So we can move that up by 1 as well. Then we look for scoring on our tracks. So up here we have the laurel symbol with the picture of a tech card. We score 1 point for every tech card. Well, we just looked, we had 1, so that's 1 point. And we are in the lead. Next, we have this icon, which means 1 point for every row and column we have built. Unfortunately, we have not built a row or column yet, so we're going to get 0 points for that this turn. Then lastly, we've done this before, we gain our income. We're going to gain 2 more money bags, 1 more population, 1 food, and 1 culture. Then we're going to gain another tapestry card. We have the Dark Ages, and another exploration tile. There we go, Mushroom Island. It's the Automa's turn, and they have 2 cards left, and this is where we slow down just a little bit. We're going to flip the first card, and we're looking in this cell right here. Remember, this is the action card, so this cell can either be have the hand in it or be empty like this last card was. If on your last pair, if that card has the hand in it, you discard both of the cards and they move straight into their income turn. If not, then you take their turn as normal. So this just gives a little unpredictability, just like a player would have, because players can take their income turn at any time and bank resources even. So you don't just do it when you run out. So we're going to place that here. Again, I want to place the tiebreaker card on top because there's a chance I might need it. And then we're going to go through this as their income turn. So we go from top to bottom, left to right, down this track, and do each of the actions. The first thing is there is a potential for the Automa and the Shadow players. The only thing the Shadow player does during the income phase is look to see if they're going to reassess their favorite tracks. So let's look at the Shadow player, because what this means is they look at their favorite track, and if there is another token ahead of them, whether it be mine or the other AI, then they would think about reassessing their track. So there's none ahead of them. They are happy where they are. They're going to stay on the military track. However, they're not happy. They haven't done any science whatsoever. So they were interested in science, but I think they're going to leave it behind. And what they do is they reassess by looking down another track and see where they are closest to their next building or the end of another track. So right here, they have moved and are only 2 away. The next closest would be the military track, where they are 3 away from the building, and then they are 4 away from here. So they're going to say, you know what? We're going to move into an age of exploration rather than science. So they're going to make that their favorite track, and that just means they're probably going to choose that a little more often. Next thing we do is they do their civilization abilities. We look here, and they only have 1 we have to worry about. Income turns 3 through 5. We're only on income turn 2. They roll the science die and move up that track and gain the benefit. So we'll worry about that next time. they go up here and it's the laurel symbol, they're going to score their points. To do that, they have 3 categories down here and a multiplier. You follow the line until the first multiplier that you see, and you add up the points. So this one says, this top one says, for every building and every territory they control, they gain 1 point times 1. They have no buildings yet, but they have 2 territories. That's going to give them 2 points. They are back in the lead. The next category is how far they are up the military and the science track, but the first turn it is multiplied times 0, so we're not even going to worry about that. And then they go look on the tech track and the exploration, and that is times 1. So they have moved 2 here, and they have moved none here. So 2 times 1 is 2. They're at 4 points. The next thing they do is we can now flip this over. There's not going to be a chance we need the tiebreaker card anymore. Flip that over. We bring in the bigger deck that we had shuffled in the beginning, and we take 2 cards and add them to the top of their deck. This is going to give them more turns, just like we would have as a player each round. Then they move up to here, and we have a sideways tapestry card icon. It means they're going to take a tapestry card. They're going to leave it face down, but they're going to cover it just like we did on their mat. And again, if they're the first to take this this era's income turn, then they would gain 2 points. We beat them to it, so they are just going to cover that up. The next thing they do is get another tapestry card for their hand. They're up to 2. Then they shuffle their deck, and they're ready to go. Let's spend a culture, and let's go up the technology track again. I can either draw a tech card or build a market. Let's build a market. So again, I can build this. It's going to now give me a second opportunity to score tech cards. So whatever we get, we can score times 2. We place this here, and a couple things are going to happen. First off, we have filled this whole square up now with either red dots or buildings. This was a 2x2, so it's covering those 2. And we get a resource of our choice. Let's gain a population. And then whenever you place an income building, which is any of these buildings, in your capital city, gain 3 points. 1, 2, 3, we have caught back up at 4. That felt pretty good. They're going to flip 2 cards. The Automa wants to go up any track, and the shadow player is looking for the next building. The any track for the Automa is going to be the military track, and for the shadow player, also going up the military track. So they move closer to the next building. Automa players here moves here, and they do take a tapestry card for their hand. They never do the bonus action. Let's pay a money bag and a food. We're going to move up this again, and I am going to gain the forge, and I can wipe these if I want, and then I gain a tech card. I think I am going to wipe all 3 of these. I'm not too excited about those. So we get the calendar, we get the barn, which is a 3x3 building, and we get anesthesia. Sorry, not vaccines. I think I'm going to take the calendar. We refill that with the light bulb. I would have liked that one even better. Put that on our X track. We bring the forge over here, and we match it up to that, and we can place that on our mat. This is another 2x2 building. Trying to see where I want to. Can't place it here because that covers up that dot. So let's place it here maybe. And then we can work on maybe this row right here. That may not be too bad. Automa flips 2 cards. They want to grab their next building or try to get closer to it. The shadow player wants to go up the track. They're the closest, or they're the furthest on. Let's come over here. We'll grab the barracks first. And even though the shadow player is the one that got it, they always give it to the Automa. And that just stinks because they load up on buildings like crazy. And then we need to grab this for exploration. Exploration, remember, is the favorite track for the Automa, the military track? No. Then they want to go furthest away from us. So that is 1, 2. That is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to go right here. No tiebreaker needed. They draw a tile, we flip it around, and there we go. Let's spend 1 money bags and 1 culture. So I'm just going to build one of these 3 buildings right here. I think I'm going to build a house that's going to give me an extra population next turn. And let's build it right here. Maybe try to fill up this square. We're going to flip a card, and that's going to be going up any track. They're looking at military. Shadow wants to go up any track on technology. Shadow player goes there. They go on military track, and they're going to conquer. So we're going to come over here, and we're just going to make this very simple. We know from our last time that we conquered, they're going to go after the middle island first. So we look at their card. There's no topple icon, and even if there was, they would not place a shadow player. They have to leave the middle island open for us. But they have now unlocked an achievement. So we take a cube, we put it here, and they have now gained 10 points. I'll give them at the end of the game. Let's spend 1 population. We're going to move up this track, and I'm going to build a house. I'm not going to roll the die. Let's put a house right here, and we have a full row, which means that it's the end of our turn. We have completed at least 1 row or column. We can place the skyscraper, which is a 3x3, in our capital city. This is exciting. I have a spot for it right there. This is pretty much the only spot I have for it. Now you can put them, like I could put it there and just take up 3. You can hang them off the edge, but you lose so much there. But I could do it here if I was in a pinch. But here is where we're going to go. We put the skyscraper. Boop-a-doo. We gain a resource here for filling up a square. Just 1 building fills up a whole square. And we gain a resource for the apothecary. So I think we'll gain a money bags and population. Automa has their next to last 2, and I think that immense income we just got may mean that they pass before us. But we'll see. They want to go up any path or any track. They're going to go up their favorite, which is the exploration track. Shadow wants to go up science. So they're moving there. They're going here. They're going to explore, and they're going to gain the lighthouse. So we come over here, we get the lighthouse for them, they place it on their mat. That's just going to be worth points. And the Automa wants to explore. We have all of these. We know that their favorite track is not the military track, so furthest away from us is not going to be that one. It's not going to be that one. This is 2 away. It's not going to be that one. These are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then we go in directional selection. We're going to go down like this. The first one we come to is that one. That's where they're going to explore. They grab a random tile, twist it around, and put it there. Before we move ahead, 2 little mistakes I've already caught. I got ahead of myself. I forgot to gain 6 points for building this and this. So I've built 3 buildings this turn. I should have gained 9 points. I only gained 3. So we get 6 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brings us up to 10. And then when I gained the forge, I can place this cube and start gaining the forge power, which says whenever you upgrade a tech card to the top row, also gain a resource. Well, we haven't done that yet, so we haven't lost out on anything, but I don't want to forget that. And then if I gain another building, I can move this to the building that I gained, or this one. It doesn't matter. I think I am going to chance it and spend 1, 2 population and move up the science track. Now that building we already have, we don't get that. So the first thing we get is a point for every tech card we have. We have 2, so we're going to get 2 points. That brings us up to 12. And then we're going to gain a tapestry card. We gain surprise party. Okay, this is one of the new ones. You can see by the double P in the bottom. It says, this works a lot like a trap card. A trap card is a card that says up here that if you are conquered by the opponent, you can play the trap card out of your hand like so. You can say boom, yep, and you topple their building instead of them toppling yours. That's really cool because in a multiplayer game, you have your hand of cards like this, and nobody knows if what you're holding includes a trap card or not. And this is why the AI has a hand of cards, because the more cards they gain in their hand, the more likely it is that they have a trap card. So we can play this as a tapestry, It says when played, if it's played as a tapestry, gain 10 points, which that's great. Or we can build an armory right here for free. But up here, it has a different ability. You may discard this card from your hand when an opponent tries to conquer your territory. If you are further advanced on the military track than they are, you can't also play a trap. If you do, top of their outpost and gain 15 points. But I have to be higher on the military track. That's not going to happen with either of the other players. So, but that's one of the new cards, and a lot of the new cards have that kind of thing like that, which is really cool. I like it. That was us. Let's flip the first card, and they're going to take their income turn, which means they're going to gain points, and we're going to miss out on 2 resources. So, tiebreaker card on top. Bring that over here. We go down the track, and we have reassess tracks. The shadow player has nobody in front of them. They're happy. The Automa has nobody in front of them. They're happy. We are on number 3, so we have to do their ability. We're going to roll the science die, and they're going to go up that track and gain the ability. It's science track. So they're going to go up 1 here, and this means they roll the die. They get exploration, but they don't gain the ability. It doesn't matter. They wouldn't have gained any of this anyway. The next thing we do is we gain points, and if you look here, the multiplication tables go up as we go along. So, buildings and territories. This is going to be times 2 now. So they have 2 buildings and 3 territories. That's 5 times 2 is 10. They're up to 14, just like that. Then we have military track and science track times 1. They've gone up once on the science track and 3 times on the military track, so that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 at 18. And then tech and exploration times 1. They're up 5 here and none here, so 5 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 23. They're starting to get a little gap. Hopefully we can make some of that up in this next income phase. Then they can flip these over and they can add 2 cards. They lay down a tapestry card right here. They're going to gain 3 points, bringing them up to 26, and they're going to gain 1 from their hand. We did both of those. They shuffle up. They're ready for their next turn. I'm going to just go ahead with another turn. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to go up this track and roll the die, see what we get. We get exploration. That's good. So I'm going up this track, and I gain 2 scouting tokens. There we go. The Automa is on their 4th era. We don't want them to get too far ahead of us. And they want to go up the military track. Shadow player wants to go up the track where they're closest to the next building. Closest to the next building for them is that. They want to go up the military track. There's no action that they would take. Now, when I did this, I should have looked down here and paid. I want to pay, definitely. I don't need these. I don't need either one of those. So might as well get 5 points. So we discard these and 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I only have 1 of any resource. I'm just going to bank it and move into the next era. We know we skip this. We can play a tapestry card. We're going to play democracy. Now, I was hoarding those cards to get more points, but I got 5 points for 2. I would have only gotten 4 points for 2. So we get to draw 3 cards, tapestry cards, 1, 2, 3, and we can discard any number from our hand. So we have engineering. Whenever you invent a tech card, immediately upgrade it to the middle row and gain the circle benefit. That's a great one. Guilds, when played, pay 5, 10, or 15 points to gain 1, 2, or 3 resources, or pay 1, 2, and 3 resources to gain 5, 10, or 15. You cannot spend victory points you don't have. That's a really fun one near the end of the game. I am not feeling that. When you gain income, capitalism, gain 2 points per money bag earned. Whenever you gain a market, also gain a money. I mean, that would be really good. Man, I don't want to get just 2 points. I like the engineering as well. But you know what? Capitalism, I mean, we've done monarchy, we're going into democracy, might as well take capitalism and finish a theme. So we're going to take that, and we're going to get 4 points for these. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 21. Now I didn't have to keep, now just to say, I did not have to keep this one, but I don't have any other ones in my hand, so I probably should keep one. The next thing we're going to do is upgrade some tech. Now, looking here, I can't upgrade this yet because there's a prerequisite down here. It has the tech track icon and the number 4, and then it has this little 3-person symbol here. This says that either you or one of your neighbors, and basically think we're playing a 3-player game, so any of the other 2, the Shadow Player or the Automa, has to be at tech level 4 on the track. So if we look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody has to be there before we can do that. It takes a lot of technology to actually get to the top and get time travel going. So we can't upgrade that anymore right now. Conversely, if we wanted to do this, somebody just has to be at level 2 on the exploration track. So we could, if this was up here, we could do that right now. But we're going to do this and gain a culture. Boom. We look for any scoring opportunities. We have 2 times the number of tech cards. So 2 times 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 times the number of rows and columns. We only have 1, so we'll take 2 more points. That puts us in the lead. That's it for up there, so we gain our resources. We get 2 money bags, 1, 2. We get 2 population, 1, 2. We get 1 food and 1 culture. Then we get a tapestry card. We have Manifest Destiny. Okay. Let's see. And then we need another tile that we probably need to start doing some things with. We get, ooh, that one's a good one for us. I like that one. That was our turn. The Automa is going to barrel ahead, and they want to go up their favorite track, and the Shadow Player wants to go up the science track. There they go. And there they go. They're not going to do anything. They don't draw tiles, and they don't build buildings. I want to spend a food, and I'm going to move up this track, and I'm going to place a tile. I want to place it here. Now, when we place a tile, we can try to match up elements. So, for every side that has an element that matches up to something else, then we get a point. So, for instance, that's not going to match up. I think the best I can do is probably like so. So we look here, on this side I have desert matching desert. On this side I have desert matching desert. Water does not match, but it doesn't matter, you only need 1 element per side. So 1, 2, we have water in this corner matching the big water here, and water in this corner matching the big water right here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 31. Then we gain the benefit on here, which is build an armory. So we're going to build this, and that's going to give us another culture next turn. Now I'm highly interested in filling this box up right here. Automa flips 2 more cards. They want to go up any track. Science. Oh, they're still interested in science. And then Shadow Player wants to go up their favorite track. So Shadow Player is going up military. And they're going up science, which gives them a tapestry card in their hand. Our turn again, and I am going to spend a culture. I'm going to go up the military track, and I'm going to do a conquer action. This simply means that I take an outpost, and I can conquer anywhere that we have explored. I'm going to conquer right here. Automa flips 2 more cards. They want to go up any track. They're looking at science. Shadow Player's looking at any track, exploration. So, welcome to exploration, Shadow Player. And they have this new found love for science. They're going to roll the science die, and it's going to send them up the exploration track. So that means they are going to explore and grab the train station. We'll come over here. They want to grab this right here and put it in their mat holder building place area. We need this card. And we're getting familiar with this. They are not favorited here, so they want to explore furthest away from us. That won't be that one. That won't be that one. It'll just be that one. We draw them a tile, and it's going to go like say so. Let's spend another culture, and let's spend a money bags. We're going to move up this one. We're going to build an armory and gain a tapestry card. We get astronomy, and we're going to build another armory, and this is going to give us points for every territory we control. We're going to place this right here. Next to last set for Automa, they want to go up military track, which is not bueno, and the shadow player wants to go up the tech track. Shadow player goes here, and they go up military right here. They're going to conquer. Now remember at the beginning we said, they asked the question, can I conquer my opponent? If the answer is no, they go to conquer neutral. But if the answer is yes, then they conquer their opponent. So they can conquer me right here. And that stinks because that cuts off my inlet to that island. I have to go further around. So they're just going to place one here. I don't have a trap card or any trickery, so they are going to topple me. This also means that they have not unlocked the achievement yet, but they have toppled one of the two they needed. Now the shadow player, those don't count. They have to topple two of mine. So I always put a cube just in that area just to say that one's been toppled and they're close. And I would do the same thing with mine. So conquering was going to be my next action, and move into the middle and get that 5 points. I waited too long. So I'm gonna abandon it for right now. Let's pay one. Let's pay all but one. We're gonna move up this track, and I'm going to roll the die. I roll science, perfect. I move up here, I'm gonna get the academy, and this means I can take any action that I've already taken, and I can pay for the bonus in that. So I think I'm going to take this action again. I'm not going to pay the bonus, but I am going to build a building. I can build another house. Let's do so. Let's... I think I'm going to place it right there. And then we need to grab the academy. And the academy is a 2x4, and I'm saving that spot for it right there. That means that I gain 2 resources because that whole square is covered, and this whole square is now covered with the red dot in the middle top. So 2 resources of my choice. Let's say 1, 2. And that also means that I now have 1, 2, 3 columns. 3 columns completely filled in. I'm close to having another row. It won't be hard to get this area and get some more rows. So 3 columns and 1 row. That's pretty decent. Automa's going to flip their last 2 cards. Please take an action. Nope, they're going to take an income turn. This is not working for me. Okay, so this is going to be bad for us. They're going to reassess their tracks. Everybody's happy. They are going to roll the die on their for their civilization. They're going to go up the military track. So they come up here, and they are going to pause and do a conquer action. And this is why we always want to make sure that the tiebreaker card is on top, so that if they do something like this, that we can grab it and look. So this is all that they can conquer. So everywhere surrounding them except here, because remember there is a building limit of 2. So they can conquer any of this is valid. So can they conquer opponent? No, they cannot, because we don't have any spaces with only 1 building in it, so we're going to toss that back. Then conquer neutral, and this is good because we'll get to walk through pretty much the whole thing. So does it have a topple icon symbol? Yes, it does. So again, if it didn't, they would just eliminate these 2 possibilities. That would be it, adjacent to us. So they're going to keep those in because they have the topple icon. That means they're kind of have a militant eye right now. Can the middle island achievement be gained? No, they've already gained it. Do I have a territory with only one token in it? No, I don't. Otherwise, they want to be closest to my territories, and this is where that topple icon matters, because if they didn't have the topple icon, the closest to my territories would be these two, but since they have the topple icon, it means they're going to be a little aggressive and move in. So that means we can take up every single one except the ones closest to us. So those two. And then the last is the hex tiebreaker. That's all it is. It's pretty simple once you walk through it a couple of times. So that means that we are going to read from the top area down like this. And the first one we hit, of course, is going to be that one. And lastly, we look, is there a topple icon there? Yes, there is. So it looks like the shadow player was sneaking up beside us. That is a very threatening position. And that's it. Once you've done it a couple times, it's really not that bad. So they're going to continue adding up their points, buildings, and territories times 2. And so that last conquer is going to help them. So they have 3 buildings, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. So 6 is 32, and 10 is 42, and that's a big gap. Next is military and science track times 1. Science, they have 3 points, 3, 6 here. So that's 9 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 51. Lastly, times 2 on the tech track and exploration track. Nothing on the tech track. 3, 6, 7 times 2 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 10 is 65. They flip these over and add 2 more cards to the top of their deck. They lay down a tapestry card here. That's 4 points. So 69. And then you see that they're going to have a pretty big multiplication at the end. A new tapestry card, and then shuffle up ready for the next time. They are up to 6 tapestry cards. Now, when I gained this, I had the option of moving one of these, and I think that, well, I should have gained a resource for getting another landmark. So I'm going to gain another money bags. Yes, money bags. And I'm going to move one of these. I'm going to move the forge down to the academy. It says whenever you advance on the tiers 3 and 4 track, gain 4 points. So I'm going to try to remember that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that on that track. So I'm just going to place that right here. Let's see, I'll be going in this section, so I'll just place it and move it as I go. Speaking of that, let's go spin 1, 2, 3, and we're going to move up the tech track, and we get to build a house and score our houses. So we're going to build a house right here. That's going to give us another row. Fantastic. We can score our houses. We don't need to count them up. We can always just look down here and all the spaces that are open except the leftmost. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gaining back up. The Automa is going for their last era. So they're going to go up any track, being science, and the shadow player is going to go up for the next building. So they progress in science and get a tapestry card. Shadow player advances, and they're going to hand off the tank factory. So we grab that building right there and hand it off to the lucky Automa. I'm going to take my income turn and bank this. So the first thing I do, I can't do anything with that, but I should have gained 4 points for moving up. So let's do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was for moving up this track. I even placed a reminder, and I forgot. We have capitalism, we've talked about. Astronomy is gain 1 exploration tile and 2 space tiles. Explore the territory tile. Keep the space tiles in your supply. They can be explored as normal. So I really can't do anything with that. I mean, it would gain me a resource. That's about it. Manifest destiny, conquer a territory adjacent to your capital city territory. Then you may gain the benefit of any territory tile you control. If we look out here, I mean, that would allow me to conquer these for free, but I don't control any ones with any benefits on them. So that's not a good card for us. So then we're back to capitalism. So we're going to play that. We're not going to gain the bonus 3 resources, which stinks. When you gain income, which will be just a second, gain 2 points per money bag earned. Whenever you gain a market, also gain a money bag. So hopefully that'll help us this turn. So we've played that. We want to upgrade tech. We can most certainly upgrade this and gain 7 points. 7 points would be 46. And then we can score anything we can up here. Let's score this first. 1 point, 1 territory, 47. Tech cards, we have 2 times 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we have rows and columns times 3. That's hopefully big. We have 1, 2, 3 columns here. And we have 4, 5 with the 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 15 points. Let's go backwards and go 5, 10, 15, and then up 1 to 66. Then we gain our income. We're going to get 2 money bags. That's going to give us 2 points. All right, we've caught back up. We're right behind them. Not bad. We're going to gain 4 population. We are going to gain 1 food and 2 culture. We definitely gain a tapestry card. We have status quo. When played, choose up to 4 of your advancement tokens in different tiers, 1 through 4, and gain their current bonuses, if any, for free. So that would be the gray areas that you can pay extra for. This would have been a good time to play this card. Would have been this. Oh man, we just have a lot. We also need an exploration tile. We get a money bags one. And that's it for us. Automa's going to go, and we have no reason to rush now because they don't get a bonus for finishing first or going into their final income turn. So they're going to chase the next building, and the shadow player is going to go up the tech track. They go there. Next building for them is here. Let's pay 1 money bag, 1 food, and 1 culture. We're going to move up here, and we pay for the bonus. We get to build a market, and we get to gain a tech card. I'm going to gain this tech card, the light bulb. We fill it back in with Calm Tower. We put that in our X row here. Next, we get to build a market. Oh, we also get to score our armories that we built. So we build a market. Let's build it. Ooh, let's build it like. Let's see. Shucks. I don't know, man. That's tough. Let's put it right here. Let's see if we can do something about this square and get an extra resource. We get to gain a money bags because of that. So, bam. That's nice. And then we get to score 2 for the number of armories that we've built. Puts us in the lead at 70. They want to go up the military track, and the shadow player wants to go up their favorite track. So they're going to go here and conquer. And shadow player, while we're here, is going to move up. They're going to conquer. Now, one thing that I forgot to do, when I conquered this territory, you roll these 2 dice. And I will make a notation of that back at the end, but let me say how to do it now. So every time you conquer, you roll the 2 dice, and you get to choose one of the 2 dice. I always forget about these silly dice. So I would have either gained a resource or gained 4 points. I mean, that was so long ago. I guess I'll gain a resource. I don't know which is more fair. And the resource I gain has to be a population. I'll gain a resource. So that's going to bring that up to 5. I'm so terrible with that. I need to put them on. Usually I put them on the map themselves, but I forgot to. But speaking of conquering, they never roll the dice. That's another reason to forget it. They are going to look at their card. Let's see if we can do this without the things. They look to see, can they conquer us? No, they can't. Do they have a topple icon there? Yes, they do. So they are going to look at adjacent hexes to us. So that's going to be there, and that's going to be where they're going to go. They can't, because they can't gain the middle island. I don't have a 1 token territory. So they're going to go closest to us, and that's the only one closest. So no ties need to be broken through this. So closest to us. That's typically what they want to do. They want to kind of get to us. Now, since it has a topple icon, we do need to put that. And we need to put a shadow player, and I am officially boxed in. There's no way I can get around here without totally blowing the tracks that I'm already on. I'm going to spin 1, 1, and 1. I'm going to go up this track right here. And that's going to give me, I'm not going to forget, that's going to give me 4 points. We are at 74. I'll move that up. And this says that I can move up any one of these 3 tracks and take that action, including the bonus. So I'm going to move up this track right here. I can wipe the whole row. I'm going to get the Worx, wipe the whole row, and I can take 2 tech cards. That's awesome. I do think that I'm going to wipe this whole row and grab 3 new ones, and I can grab 2. Oh, I like that one a lot right there. Yeah, I'll definitely like that one. And I think I like this one. Didn't really even look at sewage and plumbing. So we gained concrete and assembly line. We placed them right here. No bonuses. But we did get the Worx. We come up here. It's this funky building right here. Now this building is always hard for me because it's a 4x4. But like if I'm going to have to hang it off. I don't think there's nowhere. I mean, if I could put it there, I would be great. But there's nowhere, because that would cover that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have to waste it. I'm going to have to waste it. I can cover 3. I can cover 3. Oh, that's just so hard. Alright, so I'm just going to do this. That's going to cover those 2. And not these 2. So those 2 are still open. I'll try to, this one's tricky because of the way it's shaped. But yeah, it's just going to cover these and not these, unfortunately. I think that's the best I can do. However, that does get us 1 away from getting another column. That's pretty good. And we gained a landmark, so we can gain another resource. I'm going to gain a population. Automa's turn. They're going to go up any track, and they want to go up their favorite. Shadow player wants to go up the science track. So there and there, they're trying to get that space shuttle discovered. But they are going to explore. We know they're going to explore furthest away from us. This is 1, 2. This is 1, 2. It's going to be one of those 2 spaces. And their tiebreaker goes from here, so it's going to be this space. Random tile, and they get a Mushroom Kingdom. I'm going to spend 1 money bag. I'm going to move up, and I'm going to place or explore a new area. We're going to explore this. Doesn't really matter. It's surrounded by water. 1, 2, 3 more points. 1, 2, 3, 77. And we're going to gain a money bags back. They're going to go, and they are going to go up the military track. Shadow player is going to go up the science track. Science. Military, they're going to conquer. We have this. They have a topple icon. They're going to go closest to us, which means they're going to conquer right where I placed a new tile. They're going to topple because they have the topple icon. It's going to be right there. Good for them. I'm going to pay 2 of these. I'm going to move up here. That's going to give me a building and 4 points because of the academy, because of my special power. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this says that I can either revert back on the military track or the tech track and do that action again. We're going to go back on the military track. I get to place an outpost there. I was going for that one, but no. And we're going to remember to roll the 2 dice. Oh, jeez. This is why I wanted to go for that one, because if I roll this, this says I can gain the resource of the tile that I'm on. Well, there's no resource on this tile. So I guess I'm going to gain 5 points. I was really hoping for another money bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 86. We come up here, we get the laboratory. And this is a 2x3 that we can place right here. Is that going to give us a row or column? It is going to give us a column if we build one more. We need to build one right there. So we're close, and we're close to a lot of little rows and columns. But I did build a building, so let's gain another resource. I'm up to 4 on population. Automa goes, and they are going to go up the exploration track. Shadow player is going to go up their favorite track. They go there. They go here. They're going to gain the space shuttle. It's a beautiful, nice accomplishment in their empire. We're going to pay 1, 2, and we're going to move up this track. That's 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 90. And we get to take, kind of like this, we get to do that twice. And they can be 2 of the same or 2 different. They just can't be the science track. So let's go here. I can pay extra for the bonuses, and I actually think I want to. So let's pay a money bags. We're going to build a market, score our markets, and then upgrade a card, and I can do these in any order. Obviously, I'm going to build a market before I score them, but let's upgrade first. Let's upgrade this card. That's going to give us another market. That means I can build 2. So if I build 2, 1, 2, then I unlock another scoring for my tech cards and 10, just 10 outright points, and I gain a resource. Do I want to do that? Yes, I want to do that. Let's gain a resource. And since I built 2 of those this era, I gained 2 more money bags. 1, 2. All right. We then have our second action here. We're going to move up this again. And this says I can upgrade and get the bonus from a circle. And I can do that in any order. It doesn't really matter. Bonus from a circle. I don't need any more buildings. Let's upgrade this. Yeah, let's upgrade this. That's going to give us this bonus, which is gain the bonus of a square. That's 7 points. But then I also can do 7 more points right here, because I can gain the bonus of the circle. So I can gain that same one twice. So 14 more points by gaming that. So we're at 90. 14 would be 100. I'll leave this down here, and I usually grab an outpost of that color the second time around and score that right there, 104. That felt good. Automa's last turn, and they are going to skip and go into their income phase. So they're going to end early. They ran out, and they're going to score. We will actually do their income phase when we do ours. So this means we can just keep taking turns until we are done. Okay, we're going to spend 2 money bags. We're going to go up this track. This, I get the tech hub, and I get to score the spaces I've gone on the military and science. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, and 1 is 12. So 12 more points. 12 more points brings us to 16, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep. I get to come grab the tech hub, which is right here. The only place I have left to put it is hanging off the edge right there, but hey, it's still a marvel to look at. I gain a resource for this down here. Let's gain a culture, I guess. Actually, let's gain a money bags. Let's spend 2 money bags, 1, 2. And we're going to do this action. So I can do the same thing. It's the same thing as this, except the square. That's awesome. So I can upgrade a card, gain the square of a card. And then I can discard 3 tech cards for 10 points. And remember, if that's better than this, because I would only score 9 here. So let's upgrade this one right here. I think, yeah. We're going to upgrade this one right here. We're going to score for every market that we built. And then for the square ability, we're just going to score 7 more points. So that means we've built all 5 of our markets. That's 5 points plus 7 is 12. So 12 is 26, 27, 28. I'm short one resource, and I'm debating whether I got one for building the tech hub. I can't remember. So we're just going to say no, I didn't. If it hurts me, it hurts me. So we're going to spend 2. And we go to the end of this track. It's going to give us 4 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4 at 132. And then we can take this off because we're not going to move up this anymore. But we're going to roll the science die 4 times. For every time it would push me off a track, I gain 5. I get to move up the other tracks, I just don't gain any benefits. So 1 is tech. We'll move up there, we don't gain the benefits. 2 is science, that's 5 points. 3 is exploration. Nothing happens. And the last one is tech, so 10 points altogether. That makes it 142. And then that's as far as I can go. But I did unlock an achievement. I reached the end of actually 2 tracks that turn. And they have already finished. They are not going to get to topple a second time. So at least those 2 knock each other out. So I'm okay with that. That is it for us. I can't do anything else. Let's go into our final scoring. And we do need to score them. Let's score them first. And we remember that they passed first. We're only looking for number 5s here. So they will reassess. They're both happy where they are. Then they do get to do their die roll again. So they are here. If they had been here, I would have gone ahead and rolled their die when they're passed to see, because that could have given them the end of the track bonus before us, but they were not. So I like doing this a little more dramatically. So we're going to roll this here, and they're going to go up the tech track. So they're going to enter onto the tech track, and that'll be a couple points. Then they're going to score outright, and they're going to start with their buildings and territories. They have 5 buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 territories they control. That is 12 altogether. We're going to multiply that times 3. That's going to be a whopping 36 points, so they get to join us at the 100, and I have an outpost already. And we'll bring that up here to 105. Next, we have the military track and the science track. That's going to be times 2. Military track, they're up 3, 6, 7. And science, they're up 3, 4. That's 22 points, and that brings them up to 27. They're catching up. Lastly, we have the tech track and the exploration track, and that's going to be multiplied by 3. So they're at 3, 6, 9, 10 here, and 11 if we count that. That's 33 more points up to 60. They don't do anything else on their chart, so we add 10 points for their achievement they unlocked. 170 is their final score. Now we go through our income turn just like normal, except we don't have anything here, so that's normal. We don't usually do that. We do not play a tapestry card. Now we upgrade a tech. So I think the only one, I mean, really it doesn't matter which one I upgrade because none are going to really help me. So we'll upgrade that one. And it gives me a circle benefit. That would be a money bags. No benefit there. And then we score anything we can score. So first of all, we're going to get an outright 10 points. So that's going to bring us to 153. Then we can score our tech cards. We have 3, 4, 5 times 3 is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 58, 68. We have rows and columns times 3. We have 2 rows right here, 3 rows right there. We have a row up here, just 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So that's a total of 8. 24 points plus 68 is 192. Next, we do get to score any territories we control. We have 2, so that's 2 more points. 194. And then we don't get any income this final time. We do, however, get 10 more points for completing a bonus track. So that brings it to 200. We just move that over. 204. So that's it. That is Tapestry with the Plans and Ploys expansion. I know I made a few goofs. Hopefully I caught those. I'll make notes of any other ones. If you see any mistakes I made, please put them in the comments below. That was a fun game. I like this Utilitarians a lot. I want to play with them again where I remember to use their powers a little better. And I apologize about the dice here. I'll definitely make a note of that in that first area. But let's talk about that. All up top, that was Tapestry, Plans and Ploys. We won at 204 to 170. Let's go back up top. And that was Tapestry with Plans and Ploys expansion. And man, can I just say that was a really fun game. I didn't know that I would pull it off with a new nation that I haven't played with before, a new civilization. But man, it was just so much fun. And that's one thing for me, that the more I come back to this game, the more fun it gets. The Automa was a little confusing at first, but I really do think it came down to just some rewording that needed to happen in the rulebook. And the addition of those cards is just phenomenal. It really just helps go through step by step, and then seeing someone else do it I think will help out a lot too. So hopefully I have helped you, if there's any confusion around the Automa, helped you figure that out and see that it's really not that hard to run. Now it is involved and that may not be right for you, but it's really not that hard to run once you get through it several times. But I really like this game. Tapestry overall, I like what Plans and Ploys puts in there. I really want to do some of those scenarios and maybe even the campaign. So again, if you're interested in seeing us do some of the scenarios on the channel, then definitely give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And definitely subscribe to the channel, because that helps me know what videos to come back to and explore some of those extra scenarios where we don't have to do the video rules. We can just dive in and explore what else the game has to offer. And I think there's a lot to this game that you can come back to. But that was Tapestry with Plans and Ploys. If I made any goofs or errors, please note those in the comments below with some timestamps. That will help everybody out. Hopefully I caught all of them, and I'll notate any other ones that I catch, but if I miss any, please let me know. Also, what are your experiences with the game? Is this the game that interests you? Is it a game you've played? Let me know in the comments below. Have you played the expansion? Have you played the scenarios or the campaign? I would love to know that. Let me know down below. Also, we have hit 700 subscribers. We are getting up to that 1,000 mark, and I have a special video playthrough planned, and maybe 1 or 2 specials planned, but definitely a special video planned, and it's one that's been highly requested. If you know me personally, or if you have stuck around the channel enough, I think you might know what video that might be, what game that may be, but it's something I'm very excited about and very intimidated to try filming and getting right. But we're gonna do it. That has been my goal for when we hit 1,000, to celebrate that benchmark. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Hit the like button, hit that bell icon so that you're notified whenever new videos come up, and definitely share these videos so that other people can know what are some games that they may like, both solo and not solo, and share this board game hobby goodness. So until next time, as always, thanks for watching and happy gaming.